This is tonight's help video for our pages 19 and 20. And this is just kind of a practice page to review double bar graphs. Double bar graphs we have spent a little bit of time on, enough to where we should feel pretty good about them. So really this paper is just kind of to check and see and make sure you really understand double bar graphs and how to read them, how to answer questions about them. Just like a lot of you guys did when we graphed football teams, their wins and losses, or you graphed baseball teams, it's important to be able to know how to look at a graph and understand information so that you can find things that are interesting about the information you're looking at. Looking on the back page, this is just a review of word problems also. Just kind of a little check-in to see and make sure we're all on the same page with word problems as we do get into trickier ones, like you guys saw today during our lesson. So let's start on the graph side, the double bar graph side. And before I do anything, I always want to look at my graph, and it says, what is your favorite fruit? I see bananas, apples, strawberries, oranges, so I know that these are my fruits because of the label down here. And then I do have this thing over here. If you remember what this is called the scale. And on the side, it tells us what these numbers mean. So these numbers are the number of people that picked their favorite fruits here. So for example, I can look at strawberries, and I see this small little light gray bar here, and that goes over to the 10. So 10 people said their favorite fruit was strawberry, but it's not just 10 people, it's a light bar, so we have to look at our key this time. And it says here, the light bar is girls, so 10 girls said strawberry was their favorite fruit. So now what I'm going to do, number 1, A and B, I want you guys to try to solve through. You can pause the video right now if you want to solve through them. And number 2 as well. And then number 3, I'm going to kind of just give you a little example here, just to make sure we're on the same page here. So for number 3, it says, what are 2 things that you see from looking at this graph? Use words such as about half, more or less than half, very few, or almost all to describe the data. So they want you to use these words when you're explaining something you learned about the graph, something you learned about the data. So one example I can see right away when I look here is if I were the boys here that picked bananas as their favorite fruit, if I doubled that, so in other words, if I took this same bar here, the same length, and drew another one on top of it, it would be about as long as the girls who liked bananas as their favorite fruit. So what I can say is that the number of girls that liked bananas is more than half the number of boys who liked bananas, or I can say the number of boys who liked bananas is about half of the number of girls that liked bananas. And I would have used about half because you heard me say the number of boys who liked bananas is about half the amount of the number of girls that liked bananas. So they want you to use these words to really explain what you learned from the data. Flipping over to the back side, the only other problem I'm going to go over just to make sure we're on the same page is number 2. All the other ones we've really spent time with, and these at this point should be ones that you really have got the hang of. So if you do have questions, make sure you continue to ask in class. You guys did a wonderful job of that today. So looking at number 2, it says Deandra has 47 rainbow stickers. How many more rainbow stickers does Deandra need to have 100 rainbow stickers? So what we'll think here is we know that we want to start off with an equation, because equations help us to draw a picture, or they help us to think about the problem a little bit more and how we're going to solve it. So if Deandra has 47 rainbow stickers, and it says how many more rainbow stickers does Deandra need? When it says how many more, you know that they're trying to get this number to go up. In other words, they're trying to add, and it wants to know how many more does she need to have, or to equal, 100 rainbow stickers. So she's got 47. How many more does she need to add? The reason I put a question mark is it doesn't tell us how many more she has to add to get to 100 rainbow stickers. So then at this point, you've got a couple options. You guys can really see that this is actually like when you guys have done your adding up problems in subtraction, it's actually kind of like subtraction. You could really go and do 100 minus 47 to find your answer. Or you can treat this actually as kind of a adding up type problem right away. You can start at 47 and you're trying to get up to 100. So if I'm at 47, think to yourself, what's a good first jump I could make? Thinking back to our game close to 100 from the beginning of the year, the one trick we keep talking about over and over is if you've got a number like 47, you're trying to get up to 100. Whenever you're trying to get up to 100, see if you can get your 10 spot to go up to the 90s. Because if you can get your 10 spot to go up to the 90s, all you have to do at that point is figure out what you need to add to your ones place to make it a 10, because 90 plus 10 would be 100. So I'm at 47. I know if I'm at 47 here, I could add one more 10 to get to 57, 67, 77, 87, 97. That's a total of 5 more 10s, or the number 50. Altogether, 5 10s and 4 10s is 9 10s. 7 1s and 0 1s is 7. So I'm at 97 now. If I'm at 97 and I'm trying to get up to 100, I can see all I have to do is 7 plus what gives me 10. Because if I can figure out how to make 10, 7 plus 3 gives me 10. And if I add that to the 90, that'll equal my 100. So how much did I have to add in all? I had to add a 50 and I had to add a 3. So altogether, I added 50 plus 3, which equals 53. Therefore, my answer is 53. Because that's how, again, looking back at the very beginning of the problem, we said if we start at 47, that's how many stickers Deandra has. How many stickers do we have to add to get Deandra up to 100? Well, we had to add a 50 and a 3 for a total of 53 added to get Deandra up to 100 stickers. So at that point, I would say Deandra needs 53 more stickers to have 100 stickers in all. And if it's me solving this problem, these are a little bit smaller numbers than the numbers we've been working with lately, but it would still be great to check it in a different way. You could do something like a number line would be good here, just to double check your work. Again, you're starting at 47 and trying to add up to 53. You could do a jump of 50, and that would give you 97. And then a jump of 3, 98, 99, 100, 100. So altogether, you had to add 53. That's another great way to solve that problem. So, you know, just an extra way to check your work. And we talked about that really knowing both of these ways and getting really good at both of these ways is important, especially with the number line, because when we get to multiplication, number line is a very good tool that we're going to use a lot. So keep practicing your number lines also. Most of you guys have your adding up or adding by place type strategies down. It's the number line that tends to give us a little more trouble. So make sure you've got your number line down and you're getting better and better at it. That's pretty much all I have. If you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to send me an email, and I will see you tomorrow.